So I'm torn on this one because it is not a Scotch that I would be like, oh, I'm gonna have a glass of that neat and sit around and like contemplate life. That's really not what it's for.
What is up,
Hey
folks?
guys.
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
4 guys on a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase. Can you believe it?
I don't understand how this is possible, really.
We've been doing this for what, almost 9 years now? And we've never done Johnnie Walker Red Label.
We've had it, obviously.
Here's the thing about it, though. Like, all of us started out with, I think, a baseline of whiskey that we had tried, and everybody kind of started out at Johnnie Walker Black or above.
I think
And
Mark
I was
might have
more of
done
a
red.
single malt guy.
Yeah.
Like, I did Glenfiddich and Macallan. So, I don't know. Like, I think Mark started on red.
Mark
but
did some red, yeah.
He used to love drinking Johnnie Walker Black. Like, that was his go-to for a long, long time. So, I don't think anybody really ever got into red. And I think we just, we've done it on, you know, videos where we reviewed all of Johnnie Walker's lineup, but I don't think, apparently we've never done this one.
Well, and the thing about this is Diageo's largest selling whiskey in the world.
Yeah.
The volume is higher than anything else, and they sell it globally in millions of cases. So,
I mean, if you're on a plane, a hotel, every single bar, every single liquor store has this somewhere.
It's everywhere.
It's just,
it's $23 for a 750 mil and what, 32 for a handle? 1.75.
it's a wee bit popular, lads.
It just goes. It goes and goes and goes.
So what is it? It's a blend, right?
Yep, we're looking at 40% ABV.
Blended Scotch whiskey.
We are looking at definitely chill filtered. We're looking at definitely color added. And it is a blended whiskey. So we're looking at 3-year-old minimum because it's labeled as Scotch. And it's going to have a wee bit of grain whiskey mixed in with some single malt whiskey.
Probably a lot, because I mean, that's what you do with your, this is the entry level Johnnie Walker.
Right?
All right. Well, enough of that. Let's get to the nose and see what we think. Actually, it's not bad on the nose, boys. It's not horrible.
Yeah,
just honey mostly.
I get a weird acetone.
See, I'm not getting that. So that's what I was worried about that. I didn't get any.
But there is like some light citrus notes. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
There's a little bit.
There's things in there that smell pleasant.
I don't know if it's getting peat, but it's like a brown chocolate, like milk chocolate on it, maybe on the nose.
I'll give you that. Yeah, the acetone's kind of wafting off. So.
Lemon and citrus and honey are my 3 major big ones for this. But
It's light, sweet whiskey.
You're not going to get a whole lot of complexities in the nose, right?
Well, yeah.
It is what it is. All right.
All right.
To the palate.
All right, it's sweeter than I thought it was going to be.
It's not bad.
A lot of straw.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Very basic.
It's got a
Easy.
little pepper and clove on the finish.
Dare I say smooth?
It is smooth. It's very easy drinking. You can sip this very easily.
I don't know if I'd call it smooth,
So
but it's okay.
I was expecting more like of that raw grassy grain, but I'm not getting that out of this.
I mean, I get it, but then it fades into like some pepper and clove, and it's like, we were never here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
pretty sure you were here.
The bitter aftertaste is a little, yeah.
I mean, it's there, and it is what it is. Like, it is an entry-level blended whiskey. Honestly, it's been a while since I've had Johnnie Walker Red. Just on initial first sip, I'm like, I just kind of want to make a cocktail with it and not drink it neat. Is that fair?
Well, yeah, I've had a lot of really young single malts that are not this good. I mean, admittedly.
Oh, sure.
I'll give you that.
Because they can be really young and grassy and edgy. And the beauty of Johnnie Walker, they've got such a huge variety of barrels to pull from that you just put a little blop of something really nice in there and it brings all those edges out.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can tell this is really good in cocktails, right? This is where it really stands. By itself, though, it's
Scotch and soda or something.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on to it. It's
Correct,
it's pretty basic.
It is.
I mean, bitterness.
Honestly, second sip was better than the first,
Yeah.
and it's got some honey notes. There's a little bit of ginger still playing around with it. I get less pepper on the second sip. I mean, it's fine. Like, I didn't
Yeah, there's some sweetness in there. It's a really nice. It's a nice little whiskey.
If you poured this for me and you were like, hey, you want a rock in there? You want some soda with it? Yeah, and it probably like thins it out a little bit, lets the sweetness kind of shine through a little bit, and I think that'll be interesting.
If you put this in a lineup, I would probably call out grain. It tastes like a grain whiskey to me.
Yeah, the end of the finish has a bit of grainy.
Yeah, but I mean, they've done a good job of blending with whatever they're using in it. So I don't know about the water though, because it already tastes watered down a little bit.
I would say that the thing that it has going for it for me is there's not a lot of like elbows and craziness going on. It's a pretty well put together whiskey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doing what it's doing, right? Like this is essentially they're flavoring grain whiskey with a little bit of single malt to give it some flavor and character, and that's what you get. So.
Well, so water, I would say, actually didn't hurt.
Not too bad.
Horrible. And I think it made it a little sweeter.
I'm losing some of the malty sweetness in there, but I am. I'm getting more of that neutral grain spirit. But the thing is, it's a neutral grain, not a young, edgy, malty grain. It's smooth.
I hit it like I meant to with the water.
Too much?
No, I mean it's fine. I kind of wanted to do it because when I think Johnnie Walker Red, most of these entry level like blended whiskeys, I think of a cocktail whiskey, right? It's a Scotch and soda whiskey, or it's you're making some kind of a cocktail with it. And I kind of wanted to go at it in that angle, and it's good. It's got some of the sweetness. You still get a little bit of the grain, but the honey notes are still there. A little bit of ginger. It would be really good with.
See, I am getting a little bit of smokiness on the finish. If you just let it waft out, and just that's all that's left is just a touch of smokiness.
I think it's more peppery than me,
Okay.
but you may be right.
I'm debating whether it's either like a bitter chocolate note or if it's just like a weird grain.
I think
note
it's more grain.
See, I'm not getting the grain note on the finish, but grain notes typically disappear pretty early for me.
All right, I'm ready to go. So Johnnie Walker Red, guys. I mean, this is one of those reviews where the price is really going to help it. I mean, $25 basically. $21 for this bottle, and it's not horrible. And that automatically brings it up. If I was doing the whiskey by itself, I mean, it's okay. I would probably hover between 1 and 5 and a 2, but the price really bumped it up for me. So I'm going to give it a 2. This is not an everyday drinker for me. I'll drink it. I'm with Sean. Like I can see this more in a cocktail more than anything else. But if I'm drinking a Scotch, $20, sure, great deal. But
yeah,
$10 more or so, I'm gonna have some malt. So I'm good.
That's fair. Yeah, you get a little more to shoulder in there.
That's right.
I'm torn on this one because it is not a Scotch that I would be like, oh, well, I'm going to have a glass of that and eat and sit around and contemplate life. That's really not what it's for. It is a cocktail Scotch as far as I'm concerned. And in that regard, I think it nails it on the head, right? It's got enough flavor components that are strong enough that you get them, but mild enough that they go with a lot of different things, right? You get some honeys and light ginger and a little bit of pepper maybe, or a little bit of light smoke, but it's so light that it doesn't really bother anything. And I kind of liked it with the water better than I did neat, to be honest. $22, you can't really go wrong with, like, even if you don't really like it that much, it's $22. So I think I'll give it a solid 2. I didn't find anything about it that was like crazy off-putting, and I think it's well put together for what they intended.
I'll agree with you. I'm going to go with the 2.5 on this because it's really better than I expected it. It's sweet, it's light. It's not my wheelhouse, admittedly, but for $22, I was expecting something that would like make my eyes water and things like that, and it's not that at all. Johnnie Walker does a great job putting this together. For the price point, it's a solid, tasty, not complex or overwhelming, but it's a tasty little whiskey, and I think it's great. And I think it would, I hit it with water twice, and I think it would hold up to some soda water or a rock or whatever you want to do to it. You still get the Scotch flavor coming through, and that's great.
Yep.
So 2.5.
There you go.
There you go. So
I don't know what the math looks like on that, but it's over 2.
2.16. 6, 7, something like that.
Niner.
So a solid everyday middle of the road Scotch.
You shouldn't be embarrassed to have it on your bar. I think for bourbon drinkers and things like that, I think this is a good intro to Scotch because it's not overly peated and it's light and
There you go.
There you go.
Johnnie Walker Red.
Cheers, guys.
3, 2, 1.